People noticed her because she didn't behave like someone sightseeing. According to multiple fan accounts shared afterward, Hye Kyo was allegedly seen walking along a quiet Paris street known less for fashion shows and more for private ateliers. This wasn't the type of place tourists wander into by accident. The boutiques there operate behind closed doors, by appointment only, catering to clients who don't want attention. Witnesses say she wasn't dressed for an event. No dramatic styling. No visible entourage. Just understated clothing, sunglasses, and a calm, deliberate pace. One fan described it as someone who already knew where she was going. What made the sighting stand out wasn't just her presence in Paris. Hye Kyo has traveled there before, but where she was seen. Within hours, fans familiar with the area began pointing out a detail that changed everything. The boutique nearest to where she was allegedly spotted is known almost exclusively for wedding and ceremonial designs. Not red carpet gowns. Not seasonal collections. Bridal. That detail spread quickly. Still quietly. Still cautiously. But with growing intensity. No photos surfaced. That alone surprised people. In an era where every celebrity movement is documented, the absence of images felt intentional. Fans speculated that staff may have discreetly restricted photography, something not uncommon in that area when high-profile clients are present. What followed was not panic, but pattern recognition. Fans began asking practical questions. Hye Kyo had no announced Fashion Week appearance. No confirmed brand obligation in Paris at the time. No promotional reason to be near a wedding designer district. So why was she there? As the conversation gained momentum, another detail resurfaced, one that many fans initially dismissed until timelines were placed side by side. Just days earlier, Lee Min-ho had also been allegedly seen in Paris. Separate reports described him exiting a private hotel entrance near the Seine, an area frequently used by international actors and executives who prefer discretion. Again, no photos. Just brief recognition from people who said they were surprised to see him there. The overlap wasn't dramatic. It was subtle. Same city. Same week. No public schedules explaining either presence. Fans were careful not to jump too far. No one claimed they were together. No one claimed they were seen in the same place. But the coincidence was difficult to ignore, especially when combined with the wedding designer detail. Paris is not a random choice. For Korean celebrities, it represents a rare combination of distance and familiarity. Far enough from Seoul's constant media scrutiny, but structured enough to allow privacy without secrecy. It's a place where major decisions, personal ones, are often handled quietly. As fans revisited older interviews, they noticed something else. Hye Kyo has repeatedly spoken about entering a phase of life where intention matters more than image. Choosing peace over performance. Living deliberately rather than publicly. Lee Min-ho, in separate interviews, has echoed similar sentiments. Talking about timing. Responsibility. Protecting what matters outside of work. The alignment felt too precise to dismiss outright. What intensified speculation was the silence that followed. No agency clarification. No "she was there for work" explanation. No denial of the sightings. In the Korean entertainment industry, silence doesn't confirm anything, but it often indicates there's nothing urgent to correct. Fans also noted how both stars behaved after returning to public view. Hye Kyo appeared composed, almost lighter. Lee Min-ho's demeanor was calm, grounded, unbothered by speculation. Neither addressed Paris. Neither acknowledged the chatter. And that restraint only fueled curiosity. The wedding designer location became the focal point. Not because fans believed a wedding was imminent, but because it suggested something new, a transition, a decision, a step being considered rather than announced. By the end of the week, the narrative had solidified. Not as a claim. Not as a rumor turned fact. But as a shared understanding among fans that something meaningful might be unfolding quietly, away from the spotlight. And Paris, once again, had become the backdrop. As discussions deepened, fans began widening the lens. They started examining not just where Song Hye Kyo was allegedly seen, but how rarely such sightings occur without context. At her level of fame, movements are almost always tied to purpose. Random appearances are uncommon. Especially in cities as closely watched as Paris. The wedding designer detail continued to carry weight. Fans shared information about how these ateliers operate. Appointments are booked weeks, sometimes months in advance. Walk-ins are uncommon. Privacy agreements are standard. For high-profile clients, fittings are often done quietly, sometimes after hours. Again, no one claimed she entered the shop. But proximity alone sparked conversation. Then attention shifted back to Lee Min-ho. Fans noticed that shortly after the alleged Paris sightings, his schedule appeared deliberately light. No sudden overseas promotions. No rushed explanations. Just a smooth continuation of public life, as if nothing out of the ordinary had happened. This calm response contrasted sharply with how agencies typically handle untrue rumors. When false narratives spread, statements come quickly. When stories touch on personal matters that aren't meant for public consumption, silence is often the chosen response. The industry, it seemed, was letting this story breathe, or fade, on its own. What made fans linger on it was not excitement, but curiosity rooted in timing. Both stars are at stages in their lives where major decisions feel plausible. Careers established. Public identities secure. Less pressure to explain personal choices. Paris offered space. Not for spectacle. Not for announcement. But for consideration. Some fans speculated that even if nothing definitive happened, the visit itself might represent preparation rather than conclusion. Exploring options. Having conversations. Looking forward rather than backward. The wedding designer location symbolized possibility, not certainty. And that distinction mattered. By keeping speculation grounded in observation rather than fantasy, fans maintained a respectful distance. Many emphasized that admiration does not equal entitlement. That privacy should be honored, especially when nothing has been confirmed. Yet the story refused to disappear entirely. Because every time someone tried to dismiss it as coincidence, another detail surfaced that made coincidence feel incomplete.
Never publicly confirmed to be anything more than colleagues. Yet somehow, their names keep circling in the same storm of rumors,
the intentional
whispers,
silence,
and quiet what-ifs that refuse to die down.
What fans were reacting to wasn't
not
romance,
a love story,
it
not
was
exactly.
intentional living.
This is a story of timing,
choosing
missed glances,
discretion in a
industry
world
politics,
that profits from
and two
exposure.
lives that seem to mirror each
Whether
other in
Paris
heartbreak,
marked the beginning
fame,
of something,
and silent mystery.
the exploration of something,
Because if you know
or simply
K-drama
a private
royalty,
moment
you know their
that will
names.
never be explained, fans
Lee
agreed
Min-ho,
on one
the golden
thing.
boy of Hallyu, the
This
face
didn't
of every
feel
rich,
accidental.
cold-hearted heir we secretly
And
fell
until
in love
either
with.
star chooses to speak,
And Song
if
Hye
they ever
Kyo,
do,
the timeless
Paris
queen
will
of
remain
elegance,
a quiet
whose
chapter,
eyes can tell a
noticed
story
but
with just a
unfinished.
glance.